Hey, what is up, you guys? Welcome to July's Mangaku, where we're reading Soul Liquid Chambers. As always, Josh Jose is joining me. For those of you guys who have never seen the regular Mangaku, because I feel like a lot of you have seen the Shonen Jump to Zuko one,
which is mega popular, thank you.
It's great time. Check those out.
Yep.
This is where we pick 3 published volumes, and we read the 3 volumes, new 3 volumes once a month. We come back, we give a spoiler-free review. Did we like it? Will we continue reading it? Yada, yada. And then we go completely we spoil the whole fucking thing. We talk about the in-depth review, what we thought, and the storyline and all that. So to start us off, we're going to talk about just simply, did we like this manga? Soul Liquid Chambers, did we like it?
Are we raising our hands?
It was good.
Yeah.
It was solid.
Yeah, good. Thought it was okay. Okay for me.
The way I think of it is if Quentin Tarantino made a fucking manga, this is what he would make.
It came off to me. Oh, go ahead, Jose.
Normally, I don't like gory stuff. Like,
Very
usually
gory.
I'm like, it is a gore thing. So I'm usually away. That's why I kind of didn't want to watch Attack on Titan at first. But it's okay.
So it reminded me of, there's a certain name for it. I can't remember. Something House. But you remember when those films were really popular back? I think when we were in
House
high
of
school.
the 1,000 Corpses?
No. Like there was a genre called Something House, and I can't remember what it was. But it's like the girl who had the AR for the leg.
Oh, the
Quentin
Grindhouse.
Tarantino
Yeah,
movies.
it's a
that a
Tarantino
Quentin
thing.
Yeah.
the Rhine House or whatever the fuck.
Grindhouse.
Grindhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, those type of films. When there was like a fuck ton of those coming out, that's what that. This is what this reminds me of.
Yeah, I
didn't
definitely
like
see
those.
it.
This is what I thought was okay as well. So let's give a summary before we say would we continue reading it.
Yeah.
Josh, you want to?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So basically, it's like post-apocalyptic zombie wasteland. So pretty generic stuff. They have these guys called guides that transfer rich people from different city to city, and they're basically like, this is the good way to go, this is the bad way to go. They have slave traders that kill people and kind of rob, and that's kind of how they started out. Basically, you meet the main character, Emil. Or Emil, I don't know. It was established.
Emil.
We're debating on the name
Yeah,
pronunciation.
Emil.
Well, so the one thing, and you'll know like right off the bat, is they go with like a German style naming of everybody. Like
I noticed that 100%.
Yep.
So Emil, we'll go with, is basically talking about how this world is, and it's like basically they've gotten to the point where souls can be pulled out of bodies. And so if your soul gets pulled out, it gets put into a little chamber, hence Soul Liquid Chamber. Honestly, I had no clue how they were going to fucking put that in there.
Yep.
It does take a little while before they reveal
Yeah,
that.
they do. It's
It's
well
still
into the first volume. Yeah.
And basically zombies, when they bite you, instead of you turning into a zombie, your soul leaks out and then you turn into a zombie. So
That was cool. I thought that was interesting.
yeah. And what else? Basically, you kind of start unveiling basically that there's a big conspiracy Illuminati level plot in the background as to why the world is in apocalypse. So would you say that's pretty gisty, or is there more to it?
That's pretty much
Except
the
you
gist.
meet a chainsaw wielding little girl,
Yeah.
and her teddy bear, and that's pretty much it. He's been hired by her to go help her with something.
Yep.
There you go.
She does not have the chainsaws to get start.
At the
She's
beginning,
very
yeah.
sweet. Very
It's on the
sweet.
cover though, so
Yeah.
there you go. That is about it. So with that, I mean, that's pretty much what you're gonna get. It's a unique kind of take on the post-apocalyptic world. It's kind of mishmash of a bunch of different things, I would
Yeah.
say, and
definitely.
kind of put into one. So would you guys continue reading? So let it be known, by the way, no spoileroni, there is no more volumes of this.
Yeah.
So if you watched our last one, I was like, yo, this one's done. It's like, we don't have to worry about it. This is a finished 3-volume thing.
It is not.
There's not. There doesn't seem to be any sort of news about there being any more after this. It's not brought up. It's not anything.
Yep.
It's
There's
just
almost
done.
nobody
Yeah.
talking about it online. Like, it's very sparse what this thing is. So keep that in mind. If you're thinking of starting this one, it does not have a definitive ending, and it's just done. I don't think it's ever going to come back.
And if you're reading it right now, I still think it's worth finishing. I don't think it's not worth finishing. But I will say...
So really, we can't answer the question, would you continue?
Yeah.
Hypothetically,
if
you could.
it
yeah.
continued...
It's probably a no for me.
I don't think I would, but
Wow, you
like,
guys both said you really liked it, and then
I liked
it.
it.
And
I
how,
said it
no,
was
I'm trying
good.
to like, okay,
how
so
the tune changes.
I said it was good. I didn't say I really liked it.
here's how I'm holding myself accountable.
Okay.
I haven't really read most of the ones I said I would
Yes.
read after because I
Yes.
just fucking forget, and we have like we do a lot of other shit. So I'm calling myself out on this one. Personally, if it came out, I probably wouldn't read it.
Yeah.
But I was so if you were in the same book as me, where it was like Sam said, completed fucking series, and you're about 30 pages from the
on
end.
Amazon, It says the final volume.
No.
So I was like, it's done.
It probably just got canceled.
Because I'm trying to
something.
avoid spoilers just as much, you know. So it's like I just saw final volume. I was like, oh sweet, that means it's done.
Yeah. So I wonder if they got like defunded. Or
It might have
something.
been one of those situations, kind of like
Because you said it was February 2019.
yeah,
was
it's
this
when
last
the
one?
last one came out.
Eesh.
So it might be one of the situations, kind of like Samurai 8, where it was just not popular enough to.
See, I like this more than Samurai 8 though.
Yeah, but it's like, so the problem that I think with this guy. So for people who don't know, this is by the Dance and the Vampire Bun guy, very successful anime and manga.
I gotta say, I've never heard.
I
of.
get the feeling that he probably started this, and it's like, yeah, it's not worth my time to keep
It
doing
just
this
stopped.
with how successful my other property is.
Oh, so he was doing two at the same time.
I think that he was doing both of them. So he just decided, yeah, that's a no. We're gonna go back to doing this thing.
Got you. Yeah. So if I had the fourth volume, and because I had plenty of time to read it, they're quick reads too.
Yeah, it's
I would
very
say
quick.
under an hour a volume.
Yeah.
I would finish it. But yeah, I was stressing on the last like 30 pages. Like, there's too much that needs to get wrapped up. And I was sitting there like the whole first 2 volumes. Wow, I'm gonna be impressed how they wrap this up. And they they couldn't.
They don't.
They do some wrap up.
They try.
They try, but
They-
it's like there's still clearly so much they need to do.
And you could tell that this wasn't intended to be the last book.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't Avatar.
Well, I think
last,
didn't Jose? You mentioned before we recorded, there's a to be continued, right?
It says it at
hard
the end.
very
yeah.
end. It's the end or the beginning of
The
the
beginning
end.
of the end is what it
yeah.
says.
And it's like, you cucks. I was literally texting someone. They're asking about how the manga was reading. And I was like, oh, it's really good. I don't know how they're going to finish it. I've got like 30 pages. And then I got to that point like 5 minutes later, send a fucking picture. I'm just like, I'm fucking triggered right now. It was rough.
Yeah, because I after seeing that, like when I finished, I immediately hit up Google. I was like, is it a prequel? Is there a sequel under a different name?
That's what I was thinking
like,
too.
what's going on here? There's just not.
It's
There's
just
not.
that's it.
That's it.
So yeah.
And I really do think it's just not popular enough because nobody is like, it's not got a digital copy anywhere. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not got in like the few people I see talking about it. It's like, hey, is volume 1 good? Like, you think volume 1's good? It's like there's 3 volumes of this thing.
Yeah.
And then I think even on Amazon, it's only got like fucking 3 reviews or something on Amazon. Like,
makes
it's
sense,
not
yeah.
a lot.
Wild.
So, and he's a very successful mangaka.
Mangaka. Yeah.
So it's like, it's crazy.
So, do you like the premise of it all, or do you think?
I mean,
what do you not necessarily like, or is that in the spoiler zone?
it'll probably be more spoiler.
But is there
free,
any generic, like, any reasons why you wouldn't recommend reading
It's just like, to me, I did not walk away from this with anything at all. I was like, yeah. So it kind of took a bunch of bits from different properties and did them okay. I was like, yeah,
I kind of got that
I
vibe.
get that.
It also got very preachy at some
Yeah.
points.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it wasn't like bad preachy. I think it was very like politicsy.
Yeah,
And
but it's like,
yeah,
and there's some
definitely.
parts in it that I really liked. Like, there's a couple characters I really liked, but then it's just like,
there were some moments where I cackled.
it seems like they went for kind of like I don't remember what the saying is, but where it's like, instead of just being a master at one thing, they try to
jack
be
of all trades.
a jack of all trades and just be mediocre at most things. And it's like,
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
I can
right?
see that.
Fair
So,
enough.
Yeah,
So Sam would not read.
no.
probably wouldn't,
No.
but that's a laziness thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to be the spoiler-free version of that. So if that has not sold you on it, it's not the best sell, honestly.
Better than Samurai 8. Would you
Yeah,
say that?
yes, better than Samurai,
Okay.
which is still not the best sell.
Yeah.
But with that, it's going to be total spoiler review coming up. So if you don't want this spoiled for you, it came out a long time ago. It's not getting any more. So I don't think it's that big of an issue for it to be spoiled. But if you want to read it on your own for some reason, then be my guest. Stop now. With that, we're going to hop right in to volume 1. Let's start from there.
Okay.
You meet Emil or
Yep.
Emil. We haven't decided. We're just
Emil.
going to say Emil.
Yeah, I think that's better.
I liked him a lot.
I
thought he was
like
good.
Emil a lot.
He was very straightforward with a lot of stuff.
The only thing I hate about him
Mm-hmm.
is his facial expressions. I could never...
Because he was blushing half the time.
He was blushing half the time.
Yeah.
His mouth was curled, and I was like,
Is he enjoying or
What's-
embarrassed?
yeah,
And
that
so I
didn't get.
suppose from context clues, he is Asian,
Oh, because...
but the little girl is not. Is going to be
I
my
don't think
guess.
so.
Because he is constantly referred to as small eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never thought about that. That could be hella fucking racist.
So yeah, so that's
They-
kind
they
of what
were
I
a little
assumed
edgy.
is-
They're-
yeah. Oh, very edgy.
Yeah.
I assumed they were just being slightly racist there, and I was like,
Yow.
that okay? Yeah, maybe.
But you know what? He has a German last name, but I mean that could be.
I think that's just what they went with for
yeah.
everybody. It's just like everybody's got some sort of German name at this point.
I am actually. So he's on the back cover of the second one,
Yeah.
and
That's
he
cool in
does
that one.
have. He has.
Yeah, they did make his eyes.
He does have a slightly racist Asian
Yes.
lip thing. I don't.
He doesn't
I
wanna
don't know if
say
it's
it.
coming off racist. As it's more. It's just a depiction of Asian people in manga, but
because
yeah.
it looks a lot like the guy from Fullmetal Alchemist who.
Oh, you're talking about Ling?
Yeah. So
Oh, Ling is Asian.
Is that his name?
so it kind of came off to me like that, but I liked him.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, he was definitely a cool part.
there was Lot. We don't know how to pronounce his name either.
Okay, so the girl,
Okay.
it's Latte to Sam, Lot to me, and what was yours?
Lottie.
Lottie.
There's no way it's Lottie.
It could be Lote. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's a Lotte,
If-
but with the E on the end.
We're gonna need some clarification.
So if
It's Lotte.
No apostrophes
Yeah.
or
there's no accents or accents or anything
It's
like that.
Lot or latte?
I think it's Lot.
If it was latte, it would have the accent. I feel
We
like
don't
that
know.
would be a thing.
We don't know.
We're not even in spoilers
So
yet,
there's
boys.
no animes. So
Anyways, continue.
We're never gonna hear the pronunciation. So you
Um,
meet latte.
We'll just go with it.
We'll go with either
So-
one. It doesn't matter.
So you meet her, and she has a little teddy bear, and then she has her butler,
Who has a GIMP mask?
Yeah, the whole fucking
gimp
time.
mask the whole time, and he's
And-
clearly deformed.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
His face is fucked up.
Oh, they never
Like,
get to that.
They
do
don't ever
No,
tell
they
you anything
don't-
about
they
it.
don't address it.
He is unkillable. You find out in later volumes. Like just
he
constantly he gets bit.
He's a
Shot.
Zam. He's a Zammy,
Uh,
dude.
Yeah.
Jodot.
Jodot.
And he's cool.
Or
He's like
Jado. Jado could be.
Could be
don't
fucking
know.
Yeah.
we're just gonna go all over the place with pronunciation.
Yeah.
So
Or I think J could be a Y in German. So Jado. Jodot.
Yado.
Fuck
the
me,
fuck-
running,
Oh,
dude.
because they do pronounce
So-
Jaeger.
Jaeger.
Yeah.
it could be fucking anything. So you meet him, and then she
Yeah,
carries
yeah,
a
doch.
teddy bear with
I know
her.
that's Russian.
Which I love that.
And so
Yeah, I do
those
like
are
that a
kind of
lot.
the four main characters
Yeah.
of the whole series. Those four.
Mm-hmm.
And they hired Emil to go help guide them to this big compound, like,
It was
almost like a hotel.
It's like
Compound
a- yeah,
32.
yeah.
And it was like an old warehouse, actually.
Yeah, so and it's just like giant. It's like, and apparently it's a place where rich people like
It
to
did
go.
look like a hotel, you're right.
Yeah.
But when you're inside, it looked like a warehouse.
Yeah.
It was weird.
So it's like, but it's like where rich people like to take their guides to have like test their feats of strength and shit.
Yeah, because basically the zombie apocalypse, that was where one of the major
Yes.
hits actually happened, where the first zombie was made. Or like a major outbreak of zombies, and when they escaped from that place, the zombies were pretty much never there again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the safe but cool place to go.
So you go there, and it should be noted that when you first meet Emil, you see another group of people who are trying to go through the wasteland get completally ravaged by zombies.
Yep.
Because
And a
they
titty.
didn't
You get
hire
to
a
see
guide.
titty.
Yes.
They didn't hire a guide.
Get to see titty, and you immediately tell that this anime or manga is going to be brutal.
Yeah,
Like I think
yeah,
one of their
definitely.
faces gets ripped off as they're like being
Yeah.
The
attacked.
chick. So
Yeah.
you literally like the slave robbers or whatever they're called, slave hunters.
Yeah.
Literally are so ugly you literally puke buckets upon seeing that. Like is in the book.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
puke buckets, and the chick gets her fucking face bitten off. Like part of it, not the
Yeah.
whole thing.
So it's So
It's
you immediately
gruesome.
tell they kind of set the tone almost immediately. It's like, yeah, this is gonna be really gruesome.
Yeah.
And I've not seen. I remember watching a couple episodes of it, so I'm not too clear. But I don't know if it's the same way in Dance of the Vampire Bond. I don't know if it's as gruesome in that one as well. If that's like just his thing, but that's how this one starts off. And then you find out basically they're going to this compound, and they know that there's like a secret entrance in there where they're gonna go try. You don't know what they're going for, but eventually you find out they're trying to get someone's extracted soul,
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
they can find their father.
Yes. And they have these suitcases that are
Yes.
very fucking precious.
Yes.
Yep.
And so that's kind of the whole build up, and then you find out that they want to find his father. Emil gets separated from the group.
Because zombies are actually
zombies,
there.
yep.
And they're locked in this separate chamber.
Yeah. So big fight scene happens. They go and save Emil. They need the briefcases. You then find out that the teddy bear, which we already know has a soul, right? We already know that at that point.
We weren't sure it was like an AI.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
first, yeah.
because basically Lot or Latte was referring to her bear as Louise, her sister.
Big sister.
Big sister.
Yeah.
And it was pretty much just like, what the fuck's wrong with her? Like
Yeah.
this bear shit talking people.
Yeah.
And it's fucking
I
funny.
like the
loved
bear
it. I
or Luis.
yeah. Loved it. And yeah, so
Yeah. So you find out that's like finally you're like, okay. So next thing you know, you see Lot, and she has a gas mask over her face,
Yeah.
and she's talking a lot like Luis. It's like,
Yes.
that's weird. And she's like totally just trash talking, killing zombies and shit. And then it's like, it's almost like they changed souls. That is so weird.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I wonder how that happened.
But they didn't make it clear. Like, it was
Yeah.
still a mystery on how it
they don't
happened.
show it until like way later, right?
You just maybe were like, oh, what does she have, split personality? And I think they bring that up.
Yeah. And I think they show it in like the second volume is when you finally get to see kind of like
How it
it works and stuff.
Yeah, you know how it works, but you actually get to see it.
And they do mention it in the first volume when they are escaping from the zombies, Emil and Luis at this point, that if Emil was to see her naked, he would puke. Like which he does later, and he doesn't puke. So
well, they say it's like, oh, it's like a hellish body or something. Like you would be.
But
sick
I
to
kind
look
of
at
think that she meant like if she like really showed him like her insides, like you would like that.
Yeah, and I there's some like scenes of how they got to that point. The two
brutal,
girls.
some really
Real
fucking
brutal.
Right at the beginning of one of the volumes too is like you see them just like it is.
She just got attacked.
Brutal.
And I think that's why I kind of liked it, because it was like edgy and it was like dark. But I do agree with you. There was a lot of just like hodgepodge, like throw everything in there. But basically they find this soul, and it's kind of like the guy from Captain America, the fucking German dude that's annoying, and the scientist.
Zoloff.
And he turned himself into a computer. He's just like jacking himself off about himself the entire time.
Yep.
And you immediately know, like, oh, this is gonna be that lovable fucking genius. It's like, oh, I'm so great. It's like, shut the fuck up.
The man
over
in
there.
a tube.
And his name is Nils, right?
Yes. Nils.
And they basically find him because he's one of the people that was helping their father make zombies. Essentially, they were working in the
maybe
he was experimenting.
You find out
he helped make the zombies, but their goal was to do the soul transference thing into an actual body,
a soul liquid chamber transfer.
Yes,
which actually they never say soul liquid chamber.
Which from the looks of it, they don't have done at all yet, except for Lot and Luis, which you find out later.
Yeah,
but it's like people are still putting their souls into chambers, in the hopes of that.
Yeah, because basically what had happened,
it's like
kind of like a skip ahead.
It's like the kid, right?
The kid?
Oh, the orphan kids, and he's
like
a tiny. The
parents back. Ooh, that was rough. They were sold a lie. Like, if you were rich, you got your soul put into the chamber, and you could get transferred to a new body, and you basically have eternal life at this point. Your soul lives on forever. However, your body doesn't. Which now I'm starting to think, like, if your soul is your heaven soul kind of thing in that sense, mega fucked if you don't make it. Like, if you're sold, if your liquid falls out.
Well, it's like this. So they talk about the zombies that were in that facility too, and about how they were all the people they tried to get it to work on. Those are all the people they sacrificed to try to get that to work, and it's just like they didn't have anything else to do with it. So
and then it just spread out, and there was thousands of them. But yeah, so you meet Nils, and basically he was a part of a group called the You're Gonna Have to Do This.
Sure. Sieben Jungen Gablin.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah.
And the B in Gablin is weird, so we don't know how to pronounce that one.
Galen, maybe? Would it be silent? Galen?
Who
knows?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But it's the Illuminati group of the whole thing.
Yeah.
They're the ones that perpetuated it. And basically, there was like an elite group of 5 people, their dad being one of the main people in it. And so they're trying to find this group to find their dad. And you can kind of tell they don't like their dad.
Yeah.
It's classic, like, daddy never loved me because he was too busy at the lab kind of thing.
Well, they talk about it, like, way later on in Volume 3, like, when they go to their, what's it called? What'd they call it? The
park?
Yeah, they called it
Yggdrasil.
Yggdrasil, but not, like, what they called it, not necessarily the park. They called it a playground.
Oh, Deadman's Playground.
Yeah, Deadman's Playground is what they called it, yeah.
They refer to the whole area, like the world as Deadman's Playground, and then you find out in the 3rd volume there's an actual legitimate Deadman's Playground, and it's
where like legitimately the dead people go to play.
Yeah.
Which was
it was interesting.
Super weird.
Yeah.
That's when I actually didn't like it.
We'll
they started doing
We'll get there.
Yeah.
All right, so we're hopping on to...
So we've got Nils.
Volume 2. No,
we're still in Volume
1. Yeah.
We've got Nils.
So they meet Nils. It is important to note at this point that they get chased out of the compound when all of the zombies form into one mega zombie.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
So they're like killing a ton of zombies, and then they form into like basically an amalgam zombie.
If you ever seen Wreck-It Ralph 2, that.
Yeah.
That's what I remembered was that.
What were they made out of?
Ralph's.
Was it Ralph's?
Yeah, they were all made out of Ralph's.
So, and they don't kill the thing, but they just like, yeah, we're dipping.
Yeah.
It's like, bye.
They blew it up, kind of, and they dipped out.
Yeah, and I thought like through this whole series for me, I thought the fight scenes were a little
lackluster.
Weak. Yeah. It was like, okay. And there's specifically a fight scene in the 3rd volume where Luis gets shot away. And then I had to go back and look, and I was like, she ended up under a house.
Yeah.
I was like, when and how did that happen?
So, is that, you guys read way more manga and more shonen than I do. Is that a normal thing to just lose what the fuck is happening?
No.
But
it's like, it can happen. And it's like, that was the biggest time that happened for me in this whole manga.
It was
constant. That one specific thing. I was like, I do not know when that happened.
But usually when that happens is the character addresses, holy shit, that launched me this far and under here or whatever.
Yeah. This one, I just felt like sometimes I skip pages. Like I would see something happen and they were just like in a different room, or they were referencing someone as like dead or something. It's like, wait, what the fuck? I didn't see that. Like that didn't happen. So it was weird. The fight scenes, I would say they weren't fight scenes. They were just
cutscenes.
Like, I cut you and that was the fight.
Yeah.
And some gunfire and that was about it.
Yeah. There was never anything that was like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
It's like,
something that stands out like super.
Everything ended very quickly.
And then so they leave, and then they're like, oh, actually, Emil, we need you to help us find our father. And Emil's like, okay, but we got to go to this rest stop place so we can get all of our supplies.
Which is like Tortuga.
Which is Peppertown?
Peppertown.
That's what they call it. It got an actual name, but I think
it is Peppertown. It's Peralt. It's Peralt's town.
Okay.
Who's a guy you meet. You find out he's a wealthy banker that knew Nils.
And he was part of the group.
The Illuminati group.
No, I don't know if he was a part of it.
He was hinted at knowing.
He knew about them. And basically Nils was like a big valuable customer. He had a lot of money in the bank or something like that. And I think that he funded the Soul Liquid project. And he runs this town. It's basically like you find out he's circulating his own money.
Yeah.
There's like a very like class heavy, like if you're poor, you're fucked kind of thing.
So like for me, when they first enter this town, so you see a couple of things. You see that zombies still try to come in and get in the town, but they kill them instantly. And then they send out kids to go retrieve body parts because they eat them.
Yeah. But they have to be specific like levels. Like, oh, if it's too dry, it's not worth eating.
It's fully cooked, all that kind of stuff.
And then you go in and you see that they have a like a guides guild.
Which is in most cities apparently. It's just you really only see one or two.
Yeah, because there's not that many cities.
Yeah.
But which is cool. And it's like, and then you kind of get into like the more seedier side where there's a rich people side of the village and they do all kinds of like shenanigans. But it's like, I would have liked, like, to me, when I saw like the guides guild or whatever, I was like, that seems fun. It's like, so let's hang out there and do some shenanigans because that seems cool to me. And it's like, I get we're in a fucking zombie apocalypse. It's got to be fucking dredging on your soul the whole time. It's like, oh, it's so brutal.
But a guild hall should be fun.
They did seem like jovial people.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to see more of that.
There was one dude I thought, so I don't know much about the author or anything. I saw one guy, I was like, is that Vash the Stampede? There was a fucking... I
didn't see that.
Like, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And I think he actually gets referenced again later.
Okay.
But I was like, oh shit, is that fucking Vash?
So was this it had a lot of random little memes. Like memes.
There was a lot of like
just hints at stuff.
Oh, how so?
Well, no, I'm just saying that like because there was a lot of like character references almost like to other animes.
Did not see any of that.
I saw
like it was a subtle hint and it wasn't anything too big. And then I was just going based off the first cover too, where we see a lot of the comic patches and stuff like that too.
Oh yeah,
got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. And I mean, Sam did say you're not saying he looked like Ling from or Lee.
I mean, he looked just like
Lee
his other
or
main
Ling?
character.
I don't remember.
So.
I think his name is Lee. Yeah.
Got you. We're at Peralt Town, aka Peppertown, because that's what the kids call it. Because basically they have to pepper the fucking
everything.
shit out of the meat, because otherwise it's zombie meat.
Yeah.
And they cook it like super thoroughly, and it's like basically
it's okay. It's
yeah.
What does he say when they crash in through there?
What? It's like are you too good to eat this or something?
Something like that. And they're like, oh, this isn't the princess's taste or something like that.
Yeah, it's not to her taste. Basically, the rich are like, oh, that's below us, and Emil is basically like, hey, if anyone offers you food at all here, do not eat it, because then you find out it's zombie flesh. So basically, they do the classic thing. Hey, let's split up the main characters, and he went to the guild hall or the guild guide hall, and then the girls and their butler went to meet Mr. Perrault and with Nils, and Nils is just fucking like, oh, I'm a huge customer. I don't understand why you're not fucking taking care of me. And they fire the guy and all this shit that wasn't handling it. They bring him up in this like super secretive way, and then basically you talk to Mr. Perrault, who's apparently was like 80 years old. Should have been dead by this point. It's been 20 years since Nils was last alive. And they're like, oh, yeah, we'll have a dinner date tonight, and we'll basically talk over it. And they had hinted at it, so it was kind of still a shock moment to me. But apparently these soul liquid chambers can communicate with each other.
I thought they did a really good job of that. I like that a lot. That was probably one of my favorite parts because they clearly... like on the way there hinted like, yeah, we can communicate,
but
like,
you
we can,
don't
we can transfer data. And I was like, oh, okay, sure.
Yeah.
And then they fucking set up that bamboozle, and I was like, that was so well done.
I want to say the first volume was the best volume.
Yeah. Like they dropped that little bit of info, went right past me, and then it came back, and I was like, oh no shit.
And I think the three of us are so fucking like I think we've seen it all. One of those situations where you hear something, and me and Sam, especially like if we're watching something and they say just a slightly off word, it's like, oh shit, this is gonna happen. I was watching a show with you the other day, and they were like kind of hinting at it. It's like, oh, this person's pregnant with this, and it's like, oh, called it. So for that to have slipped through, but for that to have slipped through, I was kind of impressed. And I'm kind of cool. Like I thought you would have probably caught that before I did. I
was like, that was fantastic. It's like, kudos.
So basically what happened was Nils is in a soul liquid chamber, and he communicates to Perrault, who is in a fake body. He's in like a cyborg body, but he has the thing.
Yeah.
So you never see the actual soul liquid chamber until you find out, oh, he's been in one the whole time.
You just love saying that, soul liquid chamber.
Yeah. And they just talk to each other, and basically they had a whole plan like, hey, we're going to rat the girls out. They know how to transfer souls. This was the technology I tried to sell you. Like, this is who we need to like study. And that's when you find out Jadot is like unkillable because he comes through and just ravages that place.
What does he come? He comes through the door, right?
He rips through a door with like a scythe and just starts fucking
everybody up. Yeah.
And you kind of see like, Perrault has like real meat in a zombie apocalypse. Like, this is a luxury, and just kind of all this weird shit. But I did love so they did two bamboozles at once. It was the bamboozle with the soul liquid chamber transfers of information, and then they did the suitcase bamboozle.
Yep.
Which was phenomenal.
I was kind of on board when they made it seem like Emil was gonna leave, whereas like, oh yeah, he sold you guys out. I was like, didn't see that coming. That will be really cool if he really just dips.
Yeah.
It would have the whole situation, and then they kind of just turned it on its head, like, oh, I would never do that because I'm a guy.
That was kind of a classic.
He's like, I'm a guy.
Okay, I got it. The moment he showed up again, I was like, oh, got it.
Yeah.
But it's like when because they kind of show him, and he's like, he gets like the bye, and I'm like, okay, if he's leaving, cool.
Yeah.
And it's like, I like him, but cool.
Because basically what happens is they have a cell phone, which is like ancient technology to them. They're like, oh, this is amazing.
It's a satellite phone.
Satellite phone. Yeah. And so they use that, and basically they go to call him to let him know, like, hey, we just talked to Perrault. We're going to have a dinner date. And he doesn't answer, and they're like, oh, shit, what happened? And then Perrault ends up calling them and saying, hey, your friend dipped out. He gave me your suitcases that you left with him because you didn't want to take them with you for some reason. It was because they didn't want to get caught.
Yeah.
So they basically, he dipped out. His sister's super sick, so he's trying to pay for all her medical bills. And he, total offer he couldn't refuse situation, and they were going to offer that if they figured out how to do the soul transfer thing, they would do that for his sister,
which is an offer made multiple times
and no one fucking learns their lessons, and it's just insane to me.
Just multiple. Anytime that somebody's trying to do a bargain, hey, we'll soul transfer you like when we figured out. Don't worry,
that's why we need this.
Just do this for us really quick.
It's
like, okay,
we'll do it later, don't worry.
Exactly. And then you find out that essentially Perrault is an Anne Ryan supporter, or Anne whatever, the Atlas Shrugged author. And as soon as that came out, I was like, oh,
like it's really the rich who are struggling.
I was like, oh boy. And that's a real world thing. And I was like, oh fuck, they brought that in. They do that a lot. There's a lot of like subtle shit that's like from our world, like real like tyranny and all that
So
kind of
I
stuff.
don't remember what part that it happened, but they shat on the 21st century.
They did,
They
yeah.
hardcore.
And it was
They
in
did.
that
It was in
section.
that section.
It was like it was this century where it's like they could have done anything. They could have gone to the space.
Oh,
they could have done.
yeah.
I think
but
that was
instead
actually
they
volume 2.
wanted to work on fucking cloning or being able to speak to dogs.
Yeah.
It's like anything that only made them money. Fucking capitalist pigs.
And I was just like,
I was like, holy shit! It was like we're living in it.
Yep.
But no, and they were like
Fucking
quoting
pigs.
the thing that scared me was they were purposely, and I think that was, like I said, on purpose. They were purposely quoting shit that we can do now, like oh, there was images you could see off of your phone, like AR and stuff, and you can talk to dogs. Yeah, but they never sent anyone to fucking Mars.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, like fuck, dude, it's not that we don't
Which
want
is
to.
already, I feel like, not really true now that we have like because SpaceX is a thing.
But
Yeah.
this finished last year, and
Yeah.
SpaceX was like, I want to say
I
in
have
the
no
last
idea
2
the
years
timeline
was
on
really
that,
kind of
yeah.
pushing it. Elon Musk, but they brought it up as it was a topic, but it
Yeah.
was like it wasn't profitable. So
Yeah.
why would we do it? And I was
Which
like,
they haven't seen anybody to Mars yet. So
Yeah. Which chapter 4 or volume 4?
Yeah.
Mars. We'll just
They're
add
in
that.
Mars all of a sudden. That's where the Illuminati's base is at.
Oh,
So they
that's
really-
getting one PC for
Yeah.
me. That's so one PC.
let's like skip around really quick because they really never. You don't find anything out about this Illuminati gang at all. The whole 3 volumes.
Yeah, the
They
very,
No,
very
yeah,
end.
the
end
end,
allude to it, and you're never getting another
They
volume. As far as we know, not
Yep,
gonna be another
true,
volume.
True.
Never gonna know.
Would you say though, because I feel like we're pretty clever, like we can have our discussions and kind of figure out where the story is going to go, how it's going to end. Maybe not, we can't necessarily do the full Game of Thrones, just full salvo. I know every little bit how it lines up. You get the gist of where it's going. I don't think we could do that with this because I feel like they just change it.
Yeah.
It's I don't know if it's a change or they really go for the bamboozle.
Yeah, it could go any way really because like even just joking about it, it could really happen that their base is on Mars.
Seriously,
It could legitimately happen.
because they brought it up slightly.
And it's like they keep preaching that he's gonna be alive, he won't die, which could be true. He could also just be dead. I could see them showing up and he's just already dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like it could be fucking anything, or he's found out how to put himself into the fucking Matrix. Like
It's almost got it's got that Samurai Champloo like plot line where it's like we're gonna get him, fuck that guy, he
Find
fucked
the
us over,
Sunflower Man.
and
Yeah.
then he's pretty much on his deathbed, and you're just like, oh,
yeah, because like and they don't really like from what I got. They don't give you any hints. Like so it is impossible for us off of what we read to figure out or even think.
yeah.
Because right when you are gonna get hints, it's the end of the manga.
And they drop more shit that needs more explanation, like hardcore.
Yeah, that's why I was like so confused when I'm like, this can't be the end. It's like I thought it was done.
Yeah. So I got about halfway through the 3rd volume and I was like, this is not gonna end.
Yep.
It's like
Yeah, I figured that too.
this
I was
is
just
not
like,
because like they were getting to the end of the big conflict and I was like, there is 0% chance that they walk out the front door and find their dad.
Yep.
That is the only way
Oh,
that
hey,
this
I'm
will end.
here.
Yeah, but it felt like they had to.
Yeah.
And what was weird to me the whole time, because basically it goes like full out war against Peralt. Like it's guns, people are getting murdered, it's sabotage, it's all this shit. You're like, fuck, they met the main bad guy in the first town, like right off the bat, and he's like doing the most fucked up shit. And then you find out, oh no, there's like so much more to go. And yeah, I was thinking, I'm like, wow, okay, they will finish because Peralt's the main bad guy. As soon as we finish off Peralt, we're gonna fucking.
So one of the things back in Peralt Town that is like, they kind of mentioned for a while. So they're running from Peralt and they go into like basically, I don't know, like an orgy that was about to happen, like an anonymous orgy.
Yeah, it was like
there
one of
was
those like
some-
very classic,
Yeah.
like it's a sex house, and like all the rich people are like fucking
And
little
so
girls and
the,
shit.
The little girl, like Lot, is it Lot at this point? I think
It
it's
was
Lot.
Lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Falls into the lap of some fat guy dressed as a pig.
Yeah.
And then
Has
he
no
starts
pants on.
talking
Some weird
about like he
shit.
calls everybody over and starts telling them, "Hey, let's take off all of her limbs and watch her squeal around on the ground."
Yeah, because
I'm
he
like, that
remembers
is
that
dark.
she's got her
But-
prosthetics. 'Cause he's
Yeah.
like, oh, she's
And he
got
was ripping the
prosthetics.
skin off the
Yeah.
prosthetics
Yeah.
too. Is that what you said? I'm sorry.
No,
I heard
yeah,
you
you're
were saying
good, you're good.
prosthetics. But yeah, dude, it was mega fucked.
I was like,
Yeah,
"Wow,
and then you
okay,
hear-
geez, we're going there, huh?"
You hear Louise just in the background be like, "Don't fucking touch her and shit."
Yeah, it's
And
like,
so Louise does something, and I think they imply that they take Nils' soul chamber, which is the soul chamber tossing of Nils has got to be one of my favorite fucking tropes. Basically, he's like, I've created this impenetrable soul chamber. Mine's amazing. And they're like trying to run away from Peralt's army, and they're like, dude, we need to get out of here. we got to break through this window. We don't have a blunt object. And it's like, Nils.
Yep.
So his was special then, right? Because
he designed
a lot
him.
of them break.
Yeah.
Later, a lot of them.
Tons.
And they don't, and then they do. And it's basically whenever they
I
need
couldn't
them to
tell.
die.
Yeah, I couldn't tell like what is deciding it because sometimes they're totally okay. Other times
they
it
all
seems
look
like in
the
the
same.
last
none
volume
were nils.
more so.
Yeah.
The fucking couple of vials just break. It's like okay, so I guess they just break.
Yeah,
Shit.
and I do think Nils did design his better because I mean he was the main guy, design it, and then you kind of find out he wasn't the main guy. All the shit, it's wild. But anyway, they use him, and basically when the orgy shit's happening, they make it seem like Luis chucks Nils.
Yeah.
And causes an explosion or some shit, but basically just shit starts exploding, and they're like, "Oh, I bet you didn't see that coming."
Yep.
And I was like, "Wait, what happened?" Like, I still don't know what happened there. Do you know?
I think that's just zombies.
It's just
the zombies coming in. I think that's what it was.
No, zombies was way later.
Isn't it when the big zombie comes back?
Because because what happens is like the orgy's starting to happen, and the gunmen are trying to find Luis and Lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And shit explodes, and then you come back when the zombies are invading, and they're fucking like a bunch of chicks. Now the pig guy and the other guy, they're like, oh, I can't believe it. They hear a bunch of noises. That's the explosions that you guys are talking about. But I don't know how they distract the orgy from like continuing to fuck with Lot. You know what I mean? Remember, they start doing fucked up shit to her, and then they basically get them to run away.
That's Luis. Doesn't Luis do her thing?
Yeah, Luis.
What does she do? She's in the bear.
It's either
She
Luis
goes-
or Nils, right? One of them do like a fucking sonic shock thing.
Yeah.
But how do they do that?
They don't ever say.
They don't- yeah,
but
they don't
Luis,
explain it.
I'm
It was
pretty
just
sure, did
something
like a
that happens,
sonic
yeah.
shock thing and like fucking blinded everybody and they dipped.
Yeah, I don't know how they never
never
once do
explained
Josh,
that.
they
Yeah.
don't explain a lot. I
Yeah.
don't know why we're nitpicking the sonic
Anyways.
shock.
Okay, it's like that's one of my gripes.
The tiniest guys. This one part in the orgy.
But it
How
was-
did they escape?
Okay, it's just like in Captain America when he does
Let's
the
get
swing.
the whiteboard out really quick. How does that work? We'll cancel the rest of the video.
I'll just fucking start drawing. I swear to God,
Okay,
don't you worry.
So here is Lot. All right, she's there. She's on the pig's
So
lap.
this is our Pepe Sylvia.
Yep. Oh my God.
Holy
So
shit.
clearly she's about to be ripped apart.
I just don't know how to fucking do it. Sam, I just don't know how to fucking do it. It doesn't matter. They don't explain it.
They don't explain a lot in here.
Yeah.
There's so much.
Which
that
you
they
think
just, like,
they will
yeah.
because they
And they speak very fancily a lot of times too. So
Yeah.
it's like a lot of times I'm reading, I'm like, oh, I'm learning this, and then it's like you really take away nothing.
Yep.
You learned a little bit. You learned some German.
Yeah.
You learned Emil or Emil.
Emil.
Who knows?
Woo.
Emil.
Yeah, Emil. I
don't
don't
know.
Emil. It could be totally weird, but yeah. So orgy happens. Then you find out the zombie thing is now running or walking from Bunker 32 to Peppertown. Just total attack on Titan. How do they get over the wall?
Yep.
Blows through shit. People are getting murdered. Then you find out through Nils that they were being trained to hive mind as a zombie. So basically, like, they would make one the leader, and then that leader would lead that whole group.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to go for the head.
Yep. And
But even he though was like, I don't know how they're like, I don't know, cognizant. Like they shouldn't be able to think.
Yeah.
which was great build up, by the way. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah. And then you find out it's his body.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that makes sense.
Because he
like,
basically transferred his soul to the chamber, and his body got turned. So that's one other thing.
Yeah.
Your soul can be removed from your body, and you just die.
Yeah.
And then if you get bit by a zombie, your body can be turned into a zombie. So removing your soul from your body doesn't
make you a zombie.
It should turn you into a zombie, because how do they make zombies in the first place? Because if they start
They
pulling
didn't
people's
explain
souls
it.
out,
I just assume it's just the bite. I just think the souls of you coming out is just you being taken over by the zombie.
but who took over or who bit the first person? Who made the first zombie?
They made it in the lab. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh my God.
I
He's
don't
nitpicking,
know, man.
Josh,
This
I
is just
swear to
opening.
God.
I get the
We're gonna-
whiteboard out.
We're gonna be here too long.
Hey, this is the in-depth review.
So, eventually Pearltown gets fucked up. They fight the big thing. And they fucking leave, whatever.
Yeah.
Boom.
Fast forward. It's really not like, it's kind of a cool scene running around town, but then it's like, it doesn't end in anything.
Yeah, you find out some weird shit about
Yeah.
like it's a Roman, like they kind of reference Roman.
Yeah,
stuff.
like it's an old
Yeah.
Roman town they built on top. There's a giant well. It's filled with
catacombs.
fucking
It's a catacomb.
methane or something.
Yeah.
And
It was a burial ground.
they lead it
'Cause
down there. They blow it up.
They go through the fucking
It's
catacombs.
like, there you go. So
It's-
then now
'cause
they're
you
left.
see the impaled people down
Yes.
there.
Yeah,
I
and
remember that
the
now.
people who couldn't afford to live up on the surface
Yeah.
basically just wait for other people.
Which
to
doesn't
die.
come in at all later.
Yep.
I thought that was going to have something to do with their plan, and I was like, they don't even mention the fact that they're probably killing all of those people
Yep.
in the sewers. Not
yeah.
a mention of it all.
to be fair, they probably were okay with it.
Yeah, I assume so as well. But you would think Lot would be like, hey, careful about the people in the sewers.
Nope.
No, let's blow them all to smithereens.
And you kind of learn throughout this that Lot's like a genius.
Yes.
And so at first, before you find out transfer of souls is happening, you almost think Lot is the AI and Luis is the real person, because they like hook Lot up to the computer when they're. And this is back in the first one.
I didn't get that at all.
I felt like, and she's like, oh, accessing and does all this shit. It's like, oh, Lot's the fucking AI, and it turns out she's just a genius.
Yeah.
And can hack into shit. She can memorize perfectly, and yeah, she apparently doesn't give a fuck about the people that die in the sewers.
I just feel like, I almost want to fast forward a little bit, because I feel like the whole Peralt thing was so long.
It was.
It was the world's longest
two
boss
chapters.
fight.
Because it traveled between two towns.
Yeah.
And it was multiple situations, and
Yeah.
there was so when he eventually takes over, so they go to a new town. Peralt town's gone. Everyone's suggesting we should go to this agricultural place. The guy that's leading it used to be part of the Illuminati group. He's a pastor now. Like they started this 5 years ago. We never left. We're gonna go now. They go there, find out, hey, everything's dead. Bandits broke in, killed him, and took my soul out. And you find out later. Basically, this whole town's fucked. Sorry.
Yep.
It's a spoiler for you.
That's all right. Yeah.
But basically, this town's fucked, and they start having a good time, and then you kind of find out along the way that like one of the guild guides was trying to help out, and it turns out they actually killed him and used him as a decoy and was using his tech and derailed them into a random town where they were getting shot up.
But I did like also that as like there was a bunch of tiny things that I liked, but I liked how he like Emil kind of mentions like, oh, that's just kind of how life goes for a guy. Like that's usually how you die.
They end up having a pretty bad death.
But it was super cool because it was like, oh, dude, he's still looking out for us. Like, because basically what happens is they're driving to this new town. They get this paper airplane drone, and it's one of the guild guides like specialties. That's his thing. And he's like, hey, I see Peralt's army ahead. Like, you need to go to this town. And you're like, oh, what a good guy. Like and basically they quote him like he doesn't care about kids, but he's still helping out. Yeah. And so it's like, okay, he even looked this all up for us. So they drive to this town. It was an ambush. Turns out they captured that guy, used his tech, and he still tried to save. Like, so he was trying to save the group of people trying to go to the agricultural town, but he got caught, and they shot him and killed him, and used his tech to guise everybody. And so that was like sad. And yeah, you're right. It's like, oh, that's just the way things go. It's like, aw. Where do you want to go back to? Because we can just
keep listen. They fight 3 or 4 times. Fast forward, they get to the pasture place. Like Josh said, it's all fucked up. There's hints of somebody being a traitor inside because they released one of the people that they had captured previously.
And it turns out all his soldiers are actually zombies.
Yeah.
But they have to take medication, and if they defect, they basically turn into a zombie in 24 hours.
Yeah, so it's like you find a whole bunch of fucked up shit, and eventually they make it to their goal, and they're like, oh, this is where we're going. Oh, we can't go here now because it's fucked. What are we going to do? Don't know. So they just hang out inside this town. Peralt still fucking follows them. It's like, my God, this fucking guy. And there's multiple fights that happen, like we said.
There's a bamboozle, too, that happens.
Yeah,
he's there almost every time, like Peralt in person. He's there.
Yeah.
And it's like, how are we not taking him out yet? It's like, just someone please.
Just pull the plug.
Seriously, with the level of, like, the fact that no fight scene lasts more than, like, a fucking page or two, or, like, a single portion of the fight
like
doesn't
combat,
last. Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm having a fight with this group of people, 1 page, next page. Different group of people.
Yeah, I felt that was kind of a weird pacing for it.
Never gets fucking murdered.
No.
And he's like on the front lines.
He is. That's what I'm saying. It's like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
He's right there. It's like someone just shoot him, please.
Yeah. And it's like his butler's literally just holding him. It's like, okay. And they do it.
2 birds with one stone. He shoot right through the fucking tank.
I mean, you've seen what's her face? You've seen Louise just shred people.
Yeah.
Just rips.
Yeah. What is that? There's the one
chainsaw.
It's got the chainsaw. She's got the gun.
The fucking
the knife,
heel knife thing, where it launches like a fucking.
And she's got like those things that we actually have like in real life. Those like runner feet.
Oh, the jumping feet.
Yeah.
I saw, but I saw they have spikes on one side, so you can like
impale someone.
We have those.
like So it was they did use a lot of cool tech. But she was OP as fuck. Like they never once made it seem like she was ever gonna lose. Like,
I mean, so the one part that I brought up earlier where you don't know how the fuck she ended up under her house, that's the one time that she gets blown away.
yeah.
And I'm like,
But it wasn't even that bad. It was just.
I know, but it's like, what happened? Like, because you see a building start to collapse when they're in the final fucking fight. And the next thing you know, she gets kind of hit by something. I thought she dodged. And then
But it was
she ends up
Lot,
at the end of the
wasn't it? It
house.
wasn't Luis.
No, it was Luis.
It was
It
Luis.
was?
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
she was already like fucking
It's when
shit
they were
up.
fighting the giant where fast forward fucking Peralt puts himself into like a giant spider tank
Oh,
thing.
War of the
yeah,
Worlds
yeah,
kind of thing.
Yes, a War of the Worlds. That's a perfect way to describe it.
And he starts calling everybody a cockroach.
Yeah.
He's trying to tell him how he kills them. It's like, it got very Nazi-ish.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was like literally flamethrowing people. And
Yeah.
it's like, "Ugh."
Yeah,
So it was wild.
but it's
Wait,
like
was it when she got sniped? No.
no, she never got sniped. It was when he
It was-
first.
the other guy got sniped, right? Yeah.
It was,
Oi.
it was when he
I was
was
so
first doing the flamethrower thing. He's like, oh, this is how you deal with cockroaches.
Yeah.
And then like it looked like she just dodged, but she got like fucking hit by it and just flung away.
So so there's Jado, who's the butler,
Yeah.
and then there's Aruza, who
Who
is
is the maid?
a maid. Yeah, like
Yeah.
a maid.
Yeah.
But she brings the supplies, so she brings a hearse
Yes.
called
I
the
thought that
Black
was kind of
Dahlia.
cool, like bringing the hearse and then.
And it's like they don't talk about where those things come from. Where does she get them from?
Exactly.
Like, did her father just leave a fucking fuck
Yeah.
ton of
Was
it
ammo
still
and
being-
weapons
Yep.
behind? Like, what happened?
Because you find out that their father is the one that made them.
Yes.
yeah.
And basically Nils is the reason they died. They're just souls that have been put into
Well,
a,
yeah, and
like,
well,
into
I don't,
the body.
I
yeah.
don't
animatronic
remember
body.
Nils being the reason they died.
No, he ratted them out.
Okay.
Yeah, he betrayed
But
them.
I do remember that he was there because they tried to call out to Nils to help them
Yeah,
when they
and
were
they
getting
found
fucked
out.
up, and it was like, no, we saw you were there, and
Yeah.
that's how they knew they were gonna find Nils.
Because he was super shocked, like, oh, how are you alive?
And we should talk about, by the way, Nils. He talks like one thing, but he's like your classic. Like if you were to be reading a manga and they wanted to draw a fat loser weeb, that is what
Yeah.
Nils looks like.
Yeah.
Like on the dot.
Because
Yeah.
in the flashbacks they see him talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does not match the voice at all.
no, he's like super intelligent.
Yes.
I'm the greatest thing ever. And even, dude, I love when Peralt shuts him up sometimes,
Yeah.
or he's just like, when it was like, we have to cause super trauma to their souls so we can unlock the secrets of their soul. And he's like, you would kill me? And it's like,
That was really funny.
I was like, wait, what?
He reminds me a little bit of Cone. Is what he
Okay,
reminds me
yeah,
of.
I definitely
Little
see that.
fuckboyish.
But it's
Yeah.
like so when I was reading that thing where they were talking about how they have to make great trauma to figure out like
Yeah.
it'll unlock. It's like they're gonna kill one of the sisters, right? That's just what they're gonna do.
I kind of
then
thought
they
they
go
were
after
gonna,
Emil. It's like
Yeah.
for all intents and purposes, they just met.
I agree.
Yeah.
But to us, and I think
He's
that's
the better
problem.
character.
But it's like to us, we know that they're really close. To Peralt, he would have no idea.
It is true. But I wonder if the whole bamboozle, because basically the bamboozle that happened was originally the first bamboozle was, what was it? It was Peralt and Nils communicating. And then you find out, Emil betrays the girls. Then he shows up. He wants to make sure he's going to get paid because the girls are getting fucked over. He had bought a suitcase that apparently explodes when you put in the wrong combination. He's like, oh, what's the combination for your suitcases? Just tell them. And they don't have combinations. The shit explodes. Everything goes fucked. They get out of there. And like that was the second bamboozle, which was great. That is the only thing that proves Emil is like in it with these chicks.
Yeah.
You're right. Like there's
Yeah.
nothing solidifying that.
But it's like even that you could almost take it as like a business thing. Like you wouldn't
it's
take
just good business.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
wouldn't take that. That's like, oh, they're like close. Like this is
Yeah.
gonna cause trauma if we kill him.
Yeah.
You wouldn't put that together ever. And it's like we only know that because it literally just happened.
Yeah.
So the only reasoning I get is it had to have happened off the page sometime.
Yeah.
Is that they basically get turned on by the orphans that we mentioned who go out and pick the bodies. They turn on them and they're like, oh.
So the bamboozle
Yeah.
was there was the rich people who were like,
Yeah.
oh, we're gonna turn you into Peralt to get
Yes,
good graces. And then they're like, ha, we knew this would happen. And Luis is the one
Yes.
says, I knew this would happen.
Which
I had
is
the
obvious
kid.
as fuck,
Yeah.
by the way.
What? That they were gonna
That
do
it
that?
was
That they were
Luis
gonna
the whole
get- yeah.
time.
Oh yeah.
So it's like I don't even
But
know
it was
why we
cute.
playing this game.
It was
like,
cute
okay.
though. I liked it. So basically, everyone's finally calmed down. They kind of won. They got away from Peralt, and they have a bath scene. Great, just
Where he
phenomenal.
wants to look.
And Lot comes up and says, "Hey, Emil, I need you to like take me to the bath. Like, I need you to guard the door because I feel like people are they shouldn't see
Yeah.
this." And so she's talking like, oh, so how's your day kind of thing. He's like, oh, I kind of like Louise, which is the fucked up sister that murders people. Lots like the genius.
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's basically like, yeah, Nils was trying
Better
to like,
sister.
Nils was trying to sabotage us, saying like, hey, and this could have been another Nils communicates with fucking Perrault situation where Nils knew, hey, deteriorate their friendship, say that Louise, I've seen her fucking murder people, she'll murder you just as quickly kind of thing. And he's like, no, you can't do that, which is cool.
Yep.
And he's like, yeah, I look into the abyss and I kind of like what I see essentially. And she gets all flustered and she pulls him into the bathtub. And then the old people show up and they're like, ha, we knew as soon as Louise would switch out of the body, it would be Lot. And it was like, we're going to fuck you up. And it's like, nah, I've been Louise the whole time, you idiots. I knew this would happen. I also had the kids remove all the ammo. And they're like, clink, clink. Oh, fuck, this sucks. And then it turns out the kids were like, well, we know how to use guns. And they're like, we did this. So it was a double bamboozle, quadruple bamboozle, if you will. Mm-hmm. Phenomenal. I just never saw any of it coming. And yeah, the kids were like, oh, our parents are Soul Liquid. We got the Perrault offer, which is basically just a package deal. It's on their menu. If you want
in the package, yeah, exactly.
You got a fucked up family member, we'll transfer that soul to a new body. Don't you worry.
But it's like, it's one of those things that's just, it's dumb that he keeps offering it because he does not know how to do it.
Yeah, but it's basically,
just
if you
empty
give
promise.
us the girls, we'll figure it out. We're super close. Which is what he got sold, and he was super pissed at Nils.
But I think he needs to have Nils for that to happen.
But he hated Nils because Nils sold him this fucking plant, and they never had the soul liquid. Yeah. But they had literally on billboards were like, we'll be able to transfer your soul to somebody else. Yeah. Like, wait, you couldn't?
Hey, you dying? We got you covered.
Exactly.
And then it's like you find out later, another dumb thing is that, so the eldest of all of the orphans, he's been carrying around their parents' liquid.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like a dark, muddy color.
It's murky now, yeah.
So you basically find out that's like their zombie liquid that he's basically been carrying around. That shit's kind of fucked. It's like they're not going to come back.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a sad moment, but he still believes he can bring his parents back, so that's why he's doing it.
Not his real parents.
But then you find out that one of the kids knew the whole time that would never work.
They knew that the souls were fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not going to work.
But because it was like one of those like hope things where it kept the group together, like we'll get mom and dad back, and it'll be eventually better. Like it was hope.
So dumb.
Yeah, I get it. I see it. I see it.
Josh
is so dumb.
He's too sensitive.
And it's like he knew that. Luis knew that was going to say something. And Lana was like,
yeah.
It's like they're already bad guys at that point. Like let them know. It's like that's something that like if someone's going to sell me out over fucking nothing, be like I'm going to let that person know it's fucking nothing.
And Luis has established herself as that kind of character.
Yeah.
Like, there's been times where it's like she's having an argument with somebody because she needs information, and she's like, say what again?
Yeah.
Say it again. It's like, okay, what do you like on your pancake? Syrup or chocolate syrup? And they're like, what? Blows his fucking brains off. You're like, oh.
I thought that was funny as fuck.
Fucking great. I love that.
It's like, I don't know. It's just like that shit was kind of like, okay, that's dumb. And then they get to this part where they're going to fucking execute Emil, okay? And I could not figure out where they were keeping the sisters. At one point,
thank you.
At one point, I swear to God, Perrault was like holding the bear.
Yes.
And then in another scene, it was up in the window. I was like, I'm so confused as to where they actually are. And they're actually in the window. You find out later panels. So I don't know if that was Perrault holding the bear and placing it on the window or what that was, but that was confusing.
And the way they lead up to saying they're going to kill Emil is that they start killing some of the rich people. And it's like, this has nothing to do with it. Like, you just literally killed a random rich dude.
Well, that one, I don't have a problem because they're showing they're serious. Like, look, we're just going to start blasting people.
But they should have just, so it establishes we'll kill other people, we'll kill Emil too.
Yes.
I get that, I kind of get. But the whole thing, it just seemed like they should have just killed Emil. Like, they literally had no reason to not to.
They could have just done it really, or like
they have no reason to know. That's all I'm saying. But it's like, did I say that what I assume that happened off screen is that basically one of the orphans must have informed?
Yeah,
that's the only explanation that makes sense, and that's what I'm going to assume happened. Because
it could have been again like the Nils talked infraredly.
They
established
Nils
the whole
wouldn't know. Plan. Nils was not there because I would have to assume the only people who know that they're how really close they are Lot, Luis, and the people who barge into the bathroom. Nils was not there. Yeah. So the orphans were there, so I just have to assume.
But prior to that, and it's in the conversation in the restroom, Nils knows that he's trying to like sabotage their relationship. Like, hey, I see how you look at her. Don't do this. Like, she'll kill you.
Yeah. So that's him trying to stir the pot. It's like, that's why I just kind of assume it's like it has to be the orphans or like I don't know. It seemed like once
Peralt
showed up, it seemed like all of the rich people were kind of done with him at that point when he showed up for the last time. So I don't think they were going to do it because he based it on like, nah, I don't fucking need you guys. Fuck you.
Yeah.
So it's like I have to assume it's one of the orphans that was like, yeah, hey, they're really close. I saw them in the bath together.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, got it.
But the betrayal happens in the bathroom.
Yeah, but I'm saying when Peralt figured out that Emil was close to them.
Oh, but no, Nils is with him. That was one of the other huge confusing parts because Nils was talking to Peralt. Basically, the bathroom scene happens, the bamboozle happens, and Nils is now moved, and he's talking with Peralt the whole time.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that either.
Yeah, remember how they're like, oh, we need to do damage to her soul. We need to so that we can traumatize her. Nils is the one suggesting that he's in the same room as Peralt.
Oh, yes.
So
yes.
That's probably
right.
when it
You're
happened,
right, yeah.
actually. Now that
But it's like even him, like, I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. Why I didn't think of that is once again, I just assumed they were going to kill one of the sisters.
It made
that just made the most sense to me. That I was like, yeah, when you do psychological trauma, let's just off one of the sisters, or like threaten to kill one of the sisters. Like that'll do it.
Yeah, but I think logically in a storytelling speak, even if that was the way to go, they wouldn't do that because they need both of them to figure it out. So he was the best candidate for that.
Yeah, but they don't know that. So
but they could have killed Jadot, but then
here's what you do.
Yeah.
You get a decoy soul liquid chamber, okay, and then you make it pretend like that's Lot right there, and I'm gonna kill her.
I think you're thinking in like standard level, but Luis and Lot have established themselves like you wouldn't fucking do it, because you need us. Like they're total like Luis would totally be like, fuck you, do it, because she's flat out said to the people like, fucking kill us, lynch him, we don't give a fuck, you need us, you won't do it because we killed that fucking zombie. Like was fucking great, but I get you. I feel you. I think the reason why it was also confusing is Neil has the same look and he has the same text box as Peralt.
Yes, that is annoying.
That's very confusing.
I found that super annoying.
Yeah.
And another thing that would have helped with this is if they spent more time in the town and it was like, oh, look how close they are. It's like, I get that.
Yeah.
Instead, they just go from 0 to 100 real quick. And
where
it's like,
Neil's just all of a sudden, he just sees like one smirk and you don't know how he sees this.
They're into it.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, how do they see, by the way? Like,
yeah, they have olfactory senses. They can smell. They can talk.
It's like these things can do anything. Why do you need a body? The only thing they can't do is move.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think that's a major thing.
You get a car.
What I think, because the story doesn't end. Basically, we kill Peralt. The town's fucked. One of the main orphan, the one that did the bamboozle, was trying to get his parents back, dies.
Yeah.
They just kill him. They don't
Which
care.
they don't. I was confused. That was another one where I was like,
he didn't look like he died.
What? Yeah. Did he died?
It was a classic. The building falls. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, he's dead.
He's dead.
I thought they were going to save him because it cracks open.
Bother, yeah.
And then I was like, oh, someone's going to dive down and get him. And then just next scene, I can't believe he's dead. It was like,
oh,
okay. Yeah. I guess he's dead.
Just fucking yeeted him.
We'll just go with that.
What does he do then? Then he hands him his book, right?
Yeah, his guidebook. Which is this is passed down from guide to guide. Here you go.
When they said that, I'm like, they're going to kill him. I'm like, they're going to fucking kill him now.
Dead.
Yeah.
It was just like, man, I don't know. But I feel like, I don't know. At the end of the third volume, I felt it was getting better. Like the scene that you were referencing where she starts interrogating people for her mission.
Yeah.
I thought that was fantastic. I was like, that part is so good.
Because it was nonstop. Because you get there, Nils is starting to talk, and he's like, you already just blew through the fucking 3 people's heads. Yeah. He's talking to the main bad guy in this soul hunter or slave hunter. Mm-hmm. And Nils is like, I would really like it if you undid this graffiti. And then you go to the next panel and it's him with the smiley face going on there. And it's like, oh, we just need to know who you are. I crack the fuck up.
And it's like the whole scene was good because like in Emil's, like when they were interrogating him, like Emil would go over, like, oh, I've never seen her like this. You better. It's like he's like not even trying. It's like, wow, okay, I've never seen this before. And then it's like she leaves the guy with the thing to put his soul into a chamber.
Great.
And he's like, what, you're not going to take him with you? I can't move. I'm going to become a zombie. It's like, hey, well, put yourself in that chamber. It stays for about 6 months. Right. Unfaltered. Have fun.
The reason she does that is because basically these slave hunters got smart and it's cheaper, lighter, and more effective. They don't run and stuff. They can't run. If you take a scientist, like an important person, you take their soul out of their body and place it in a soul liquid chamber, and then you sell them for hotcakes. And they had all that equipment. She's like, well, you've been doing it the whole time, so I mean, do it. And I loved it because at the very end, they had these like little intermediate chapters. You come back to him and he does it. He's like, oh wait, this isn't so bad. It's like, oh, this is great.
Yeah. But it's still dark. It was
It
like
was-
he still does it. And it's like, oh, and then it zooms out. It's like he's fucked.
Yeah,
like
it's a total like Saw moment where it's just like, okay, you want to escape, cut your leg off. It's like, no, I don't want to do this. Like, well, I mean, that's all you're gonna do it.
And then I feel like I like that part a lot. And then it just went off the rails. I feel like
for the
I don't know
Yggdrasil
what
whole
happened.
going
Yeah,
to
like
the amusement park.
that
with
just went like to what should have been a
dude.
simple task. Just went like, boom.
What
just
was
like,
that guy?
So holy shit!
Right?
They basically there's like a turtle looking person, which is one of the slave
He did
hunters.
not look
Which
like
again,
a fucking turtle.
no, it did not.
Which they referred to him as a human, by the way,
Yep,
multiple
yep.
times. So it's like they referred to him as a turtle person at first,
Yeah.
and then it's a human when they're like trying to scan the crowd.
So
they're
I
like,
wonder if it was
oh,
like-
it's easy to find a human with this
Yeah.
thing. Which that being said, right? Get
Yeah.
this. They should have been able to see the thermal signature of the person inside of the body
Oh yeah, I
But
forgot about
I
that.
think the way they
because
did
the
this,
body's dead, right? That
So-
she's inside of.
So we kind of jumped here. So basically, we're chasing after turtle person.
Yeah, none of this matters. It goes off the fucking rails.
Yeah.
It does.
yeah.
Well, you find out like the fucking people still have like happiness. Like the zombies still
The
have happiness.
zombies.
So they
Which
still,
came out of nowhere.
They're
was that-
still- was
they're
the
still
biggest-
working. So it's like if it was Disneyland, you'd find zombie workers still operating the
It's
right.
basically what they were
Essentially that.
saying.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, these people died. Hey, they're still here working.
I know plenty of cast members. That shit is fucking bullshit. Those people would whack the fuck on out.
That's just
but-
funny though. They're like, turn on all the lights. Everyone's gonna start dancing.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this is stupid. It was so stupid. Like, apparently the zombies
I
can
thought that
remember.
was really dumb.
Yeah.
But you're following this Kappa almost. Like, where the
Yeah,
fuck is
this
this
is
guy
like
going?
Kappa.
And they cut off his hand at one point. Find out he's dead. Like this body's been
Yeah,
dead
it's
the
got-
whole time.
It's got the gangrene,
It's
dude.
got gangrene. It should
Which would mean it's cold.
which would mean it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
But the way to get around it is he was in a crowd of zombies very far away, and they're like, it's very faint. We should be able to pick up something, but it's very faint.
But then
It's-
they show
Yeah.
it clear as day.
Yeah.
But it's very
zoom in right
faint.
away.
They
It's
show it
very
clear
faint,
as day.
Sam. It was preluding to shit.
I'm
It was
just saying,
foreshadowing.
They shouldn't be using the thermal scopes if the whole twist at the end
When
of
do
this.
they have thermal scopes, by the way?
Dude,
It's like that.
we forgot the samurai chick.
That shouldn't be a thing that they're doing.
They invited like 3 characters actually, and we've skipped over them, and they had
It
no
doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay, I'm starting to think it was an okay fucking manga.
Because and then by the way, another gripe. The samurai chick at one point she blocks a bullet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
is she just superhuman at that
Fucking-
point? Everything
can-
else has been pretty logical except for the main character.
But she
Lot
can't
and
cut
Lisa.
through that fucking mascot.
Yeah.
And I was like, the fuck?
Thank
She blocks
you.
a bullet, and I'm like,
But can't cut through a
What?
traditional mascot's armor.
I was like, okay, sure, we're going there. Yeah.
Yeah. So
okay.
just aim for the hole.
Yeah. It's like fuck.
Mythbusters kind of ruined that for her.
And
but
it's like I don't know. That's like some of that shit where they're trying to make Emil out to be like this smart, honest feet guy.
Yeah.
It would take a toddler to figure out to aim for the fucking hole in the mask. It's like, oh, I can't get through. What am I gonna do? Emil comes in. Oh, just aim for the hole right there. Yeah, got it, Emil. Thank you. It's like mind your own business, huh?
yeah, seriously.
God, you're wonderful.
We would probably die if you were the samurai person. I'd be like, aim for the hole. Okay, idiot. Like really?
It's like Josh, why don't you mind your own fight over there?
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go die over here, Sam. That's fine. You go not hit the hole first. It's fine. If you knew it off the top, it's fine. You just didn't do it.
It's like I would figure it out in a second.
We're an old married couple. Fuck.
Yeah, they are.
Because
Holy
that was
shit.
like I don't know, man. It's like we're really brushing over a lot, but it's like I'll just assume if you've gotten this far, you've probably read it.
Or you
Yeah.
left and just gave up on it.
Yeah, because it's just like, man, it
goes everywhere.
I don't know what happens at the end. Like I just feel like
The cliffhanger that the Illuminati actually had a really dark intent,
Yeah.
and Nils wasn't even a part of it. And
Yeah, and they're the ones who started the whole
they're
zombie
but it's like I didn't
apocalypse.
find that a twist at all because I had always gone from the start. It's like, oh,
Yeah, I
they're
thought it was
like
their
some
fault,
shady
yeah.
group.
they're
that-
full responsible
Yeah.
for this shit because they make it seem in this plot twist that oh no, it was just an accident, and it's like no fucking
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't get that from the beginning that it was an accident.
Yeah,
It's
like Nils was making zombies.
Yeah.
It was bad. It would be bad.
it's like, oh, you wouldn't believe the atrocities I saw when I got to the
Uh-uh.
top. It's like I bet I can.
yeah.
I bet I fucking can.
Remember Bunker 32? This
Yeah.
fuck, man.
It's just like, man, there
And-
was a lot of that that was just like,
Yeah.
okay.
So
And classic, Nils doesn't fucking break.
yeah.
But the character that does all the exposition, his chamber breaks, and he's one of the fucking top people.
Yep.
Yep.
And Kappa falls down. I'm calling it Kappa because it's not a turtle. It looks
It
like
did
Kappa
look
to
like
me.
a kappa. I would agree with that.
Falls down, breaks its back, and dies. And they ended up ripping because they found out, oh, it's a zombie being controlled by a soul liquid chamber. It's got like chains or liquid tubes feeding it. It's like, oh, rip that off. It'll kill the Kappa. And then a fucking baby lolicon fucking walks out of the mouth of
I
that
was
thing.
what the fuck?
That was weird.
I was not cool with
it's
that.
It's like, that's why I didn't see the to be continued at the end. I just, because
You
It's
just
at the
assumed
very
it was like,
bottom.
okay, done.
You probably walked
is
away.
it to be continued, or does it say the beginning of the end?
The beginning of the end.
Okay, yeah, so
Volume 3, by the way, very first fucking page. Great scene.
The end of the beginning.
the end of the beginning.
I knew it was...
So I got that as like, I read that, I was like, this must be a sequel, this must be a prequel, or
I get it.
something.
I totally
So
get
I fucking
that.
started Googling around, can't find it, because that third volume, they finished the fight with Peralt. And then it read so much to me like, I don't know, like they just blitzed the end. Like,
Yep.
like, hey, we only got this last volume. We're going to do something prolific where they go to fucking Yggdrasil, or where the fuck that thing's called.
Yggdrasil.
Yeah.
And then like, here's the prolific moment, and boom, we're done. And I was like, okay, I guess, sure.
Yeah.
So
I genuinely was like, we were in Yggdrasil. I was like, there's no way they can end this. Like,
Yeah.
the dad has to be here. They have to, like...
And when they were reminiscing, be like, "Oh, this is the one place Dad brought us."
He
I was
would-
like, "Oh, he's gonna come out. He's
Yeah.
gonna be Walt Disney."
Yeah, no. Oh.
well, it's like, and I tried to figure out, like, was this like a, like, I don't know,
All a
like
dream?
he put this out into like, as like a test, like, hey, let's see if people like it. Here's 3 volumes. You know, if you like it, I'll continue. But it's like, I just don't see anything about this. I don't know.
And so the plot twist at the end is Lolicon is working for the dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, working for someone. I
No,
don't,
she
someone
says
up
flat out,
in-
I need to go back to Dr. Castor.
I don't
Okay.
know. Go for it. It's probably in the last page.
This is like how our normal...
There you go.
right before my next errand, I'll need a new suit from Professor Kastner.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I was
Welcome
just
to
kinda
the
done at that point.
Otaku group, man. This is Mangaku. Josh knows what the fuck
Well,
he's
Josh
doing
said he
here.
really liked this one, so
Yeah.
it makes
Yeah,
sense
I'm
that you would
actually-
know.
I'm-
So-
Let it be Sam be the one that
All right.
is able to derail an opinion.
All right. Now, would you continue reading?
Fuck no.
I already
wanna
said
know.
I wouldn't from the
Yeah.
beginning. And it's like, I am probably the only one here that actually has read more of some of the ones that we've done.
Okay, flex harder, but fine.
I've
It's
read
true.
2
It
more
is true.
chapters of the rescue. What was it called?
Tokyo Revengers.
Tokyo Revengers.
Okay.
That's it.
Chapters, not volumes.
Okay. So, and I would not. I'd be like,
Yeah.
if I got done with that, I'd like, I really don't care. So I'm just going to move on from that.
So one question we asked for Samurai 8, I believe, would it be a better anime than a manga? Would you say this would be a better anime than a manga?
So I'm going
I
to
don't
say
know.
yes, because a lot of the fight scenes are nothing in
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
And
I guess
when
you're
they
right,
make
though.
an anime, they buff it out. You know,
Yeah,
like they're like, oh,
yeah.
I'm gonna add a little bit here, you know, make it a little cool
Add some
there.
stuffing.
It's like, it could be really well done. It's like, especially if they're like, yeah, let's hang out in the city for a little bit. Like, I don't know. It's like
Add
that,
an extra episode where they're
filler
just
arc.
doing
like, yeah,
shit.
that would be fun.
There's got to be the beach, you know?
Yeah, they're egregious with like
Yeah, I know.
the artist might be a lolly guy.
I mean, he does a lot of nudity in his other scene too.
Yeah.
Or his
And-
other series.
Okay. No, like, and I mean, I liked it. It didn't. It was it was fan service.
Yeah.
There wasn't a
So
whole.
like, I like this more than Samurai 8.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
True.
So, probably the worst one we've read today. And by the way, it was still okay as Samurai 8.
Yeah.
But this is like right above that for me. Like,
Like a notch, like a tiny little.
I wouldn't read more, but if the Wikipedia page came up, I would read the end.
Okay, I would be down with that too.
I would like to
wanna
know
I'm
how
one
so
it
ends.
down with that. It was like, if this was done, it's like, let me just load up the wiki really quick and
Yep.
see where the father is and what happens.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Like,
I
that's
don't,
the level I care for this.
He was in
which
Mars
is
the
super
whole time.
upsetting because, like I said, it was an easy read. Like, it was quick, and I enjoyed reading it. Like yesterday, I read the first 2 volumes in like a sitting. I was like, oh, this is good. And I think it was because I was under the impression Peralt was the final. Like,
Yep.
it would be Peralt gets killed,
Dude,
we find the
I
dad.
cannot.
And if it had
say
ended that way-
he dragged on a lot, man.
Yeah. Maybe he literally went from I'm the first bad guy to I am
Yeah.
the biggest
I
bad
am
guy.
the bad
It's
guy.
like we talk about fights ending in a second here, and it's like it was the same thing with Peralt, but he just had multiple.
And he got dunked on
Yeah.
every fucking
Every
time.
time.
There was like a slight. It was it's like watching Sam play chess. It's like, oh, trade me my pawn for your fucking knight, you idiot.
It's just like every time. And it was like, I think that's part of it, is that it's like you watch this guy constantly lose. You're never worried about him winning.
Yeah. You know people are going to die. Like flat out people are going to die. And you're going to find out how much more of a scumbag this guy is. Which, they just kind of like, especially quoting Anne Ryan or whatever fucking Atlas Shrugged author. And just the way he makes him pitch, it's like, oh, wow, you're really shitting on a demographic here. Like, like there's a lot of, like, whoa, you're going into territory right there. So I don't think this is a book for everyone. No. But But
I feel like if you like his other shit, you will probably like this.
Have you watched the Dance in the Vampire
I've
Bund?
seen a couple of episodes of it. I know the gist of it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You would like this. I'm sure he's very consistent across the board because he's done a lot. There's like a bajillion Dance in the Vampire Bund manga.
Oh,
and then he's done like another series.
Is there no anime to that?
There is.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is.
I was wondering if it was super successful.
But it's like he's done a ton of it. So I'm sure you would like this if you like that. But
for us here,
nah.
If we didn't do Yggdrasil, Perrault was done, and they got to the father by third volume, would you have liked it
They
better?
needed to speed up Perrault. That shit needed to be one and done. I needed to move on from that to something else.
So do you think Perrault could have been just volume 2 and then all volume 3?
Yeah, honestly, he could have died at the town for me. His job,
he could have.
His job was done at the town for me. Like that for me was like, cool, we good. That or he leaves, we see him way later. I'm fine with him even getting away, and we see him way later. Because I did not need to see him 5 times consecutively.
Yeah, I agree. And it was kind of in the same realm of like how Samurai 8 was like, no, it wasn't Samurai 8. Was it? It was Samurai 8 because they have to find the keys and stuff. It's like you knew there was going to be some world building, but especially when you hear, oh, this is the final volume, you kind of be like, oh, okay, this is going to blitz through this shit. And you're right. Perrault was like
still there.
If we cut it into pieces and made one book out of it, it's 2 volumes worth of Perrault.
Yeah.
It is literally like the half end of volume 1, all of volume 2, and the first, I would almost say 3/4 of volume 3.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And it's all fallout from that too.
And it's like, it wasn't even like a chase scene or anything. It's just like he just kept showing up over and over and over.
Like at the beginning, you're like, oh, this is chess. This is chess.
Like,
and then you're just like, this guy's
game.
bad at chess. Yeah. He's really bad.
He's like the Team Rocket of this series.
Yeah, there we go. I was trying to remember.
But they played him like a fucking chess champion. You're just like...
He just tells everybody he's a chess champion.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. It was kind of cheap on both sides. Where it's like every time there's any sort of issue, it's like, oh, what is she gonna pull out of the magic suitcase today?
He technically should have won a lot, and it's like, oh yeah, I have a missile in my knee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do something interesting. If you could put a number rating to this manga out of 10, no half points. Oh. So a number rating,
and we're considering Tokyo Revengers a 10.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So just
4.
Number rating a 4.
4?
Yeah, 4 out of 10.
A 4.
After this conversation, it was probably a 5 or 6.
So I'm thinking, here's how the scale works. 5 is average.
Yeah.
It's a
totally
Sonics.
Average.
It's like I'm down and dirty. I'll go get a grilled cheese from there.
Okay, Jose, what do you think?
I'm with a 3 or a 4, to be honest.
That is low, man. I would give this a 5.
Because for me, what was it? Samurai 8 was more of a 3.
How the turntables, dude? You guys both said it was good. I was like,
After having read it, I probably would have said 6. I think I said 5, 6 earlier. I apologize. I actually rewatched these and I always catch myself
my problem, not to cut you off, is literally just that it's average. That's literally my problem across the board.
It was average, but literally this talk right here has made me actually be like, oh, what the fuck?
It's like, I like parts of it, but not enough to be like fully immersed and be like, oh my god.
Which is wild because the whole time I was like, oh, dude, this is good. This is good, guys. The only gripe was like, oh, it didn't finish.
I am part of the shitty shonen gang, so I do expect,
Amen.
class A fight scenes.
And I don't care too much because the fucking ones we've seen of the shonen situations, all the fight scenes have been ass for me. So I think Hinowa got crushed. Or not Hinowa. Yeah, Hinowa got crushed. That was the only one that had a good fight scene. Yeah. And it's like, okay, that was an established fight scene author. You would have thought Samurai 8 would have done the same thing. But because, God
Were
tier.
you surprised?
Woo! They fucked me.
Sad.
Yeah. One thing I would like to bring up, and I liked it. They had some side stories going on. The main one for me was the sniper battle. kind of like that. I don't know if you liked it.
I like that.
Yeah.
So basically, and the thing that pissed me off, and I was actually kind of cool. It was like they had this chick. I think that we'd established her name was Yuri. She's a masked sniper that was from Peppertown, and she was good. She didn't talk much. She was just good, and she gets in like a competition. She shoots the sniper from the other team. He gets like a hard on, like, oh, I've got competition. And so they start having competitions against each other. And he's like, oh, I'm better at camouflage than you are, blah, blah, blah. And he keeps coming back into the scene. And they have this, like, you don't know who this character is. He's just like, this is my passion. I will die for this. And she eventually wins. Like, totally goads him, blows a fucking bullet through his eye. He's like, nice. I love that whole thing. And had it ended in volume 3, it would have been cool. We had a character that didn't need a backstory, that didn't need a fucking character arc. It literally just had a quick story, and you're like, I like that. It was nice, concise. That's all we need. Now we're going to get a fucking backstory whenever volume 4 comes out, and I don't care.
Well, I really
that's not
if it ever came out, we're going to find out that Yuri had a tragic backstory. And then they added like one random bitch, Rebecca. Okay, solid 4. There's a lot of adding people.
I don't know. I lost interest pretty quickly in it.
I really did like it when I finished it. And now I'm really sad.
But it's like, so like for me, I read it the whole way through. Didn't think it was bad. Didn't, but it was like, yeah, okay, I get it. Like, got it. But it's like, I read it all. Like, there you go. Like, same thing with Samurai 8. I read it all.
That one was a struggle for me.
But see, now I'm starting to think like Samurai 8 had a better premise.
Yeah.
Samurai 8 had a better premise.
I think it's just because they did so much world building for that one.
Yeah, it could have gone somewhere. Whereas this had little world building, and it tried.
And
they're like, oh, hey, by the way, we're going to expand on the world now. It's like, wait, I thought we were
at the end, right?
We thought we were going to be very small.
But
okay, I think we've done enough.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about the next month of Mangaku that we're gonna do. So
I'm gonna do it.
Do it. Knock them down.
For people that don't know, let's just say we pick a new one every month.
And you can read along with us.
We are doing currently 3 weeks. So the next 3 weeks will be the Manga Jump to Zuka stuff, which is fantastic. It's been a good time. We
like it. You guys seem to like it.
Definitely check that out. That'll be the next 3 weeks, and then on the 4th one, we will be back with this Mangaku, where we will talk about the next 3 volumes of. We're gonna be doing one called Witch's Printing Office. It's totally different.
That sounds
from this.
fun.
Ooh.
We're going way off. Like it's.
I can now assume what's going on. Soul Liquid Chamber gave me nothing.
So let me just read you the description here.
All right.
Amazon delayed my book,
I'll close
so I
my
don't have a
eyes.
physical copy.
No, according to Sam, the Amazon driver got jumped.
Yes, he said there
somewhere.
was a delay in Los Angeles. What am I supposed to do? So here's the thing. What nerd wouldn't enjoy exploring an RPG style world? Classic premise.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yep.
Okay. Not Mika Kamiya, who is the main character.
Okay.
She was about to enjoy her post-comic market, which is normally referred to as Comic-Ket, I think is what you would see it referred to. It's basically like a big Japan Comic-Con.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
And then fate whisked her way to a fantasy land. So, classic premise.
Yeah.
Classic.
Okay. Yep.
And then all Mika wants to do is find a way home. So she's hunting for spells, but rather than search all over, they'll be coming to her to attend her magical book selling event that she sets up in the world.
Oh, interesting.
Ooh, I like
that.
this.
It's called Magic Market.
Is it a comedy?
I think so. I don't really know what tags it has on it. It's got a very kind of cute looking art style, and I don't think it's going to be very shonen.
Oh, it's going to be all
so
kawaii.
We're going way off base of this one straight to a witch's printing office.
Oh, sweet. We're going kawaii,
So we're going to be doing the first 3 volumes, and it's basically she sets up a comic convention in a fantasy world.
I like that.
So that is the premise there. That's what we're going to be doing for
it's isekai,
August.
right? Isekai is the
Yeah,
style?
yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So that will be the next one. And with that, that'll be the end of
this
Soul Liquid Chambers.
Yep.
I almost forgot the fucking name of it already.
Yeah.
Even though Josh said it.
And this is
100 times.
all Mangaku. The Jump
Yes.
to Zuka, we all have it under the same name.
Yeah,
so.
it's all in the playlist. So check
Yeah.
the playlist if you want to see all of that.
If it's ultra long, you know why.
So with that, thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys next week, really, for another Mangaku. And then if you just watch the main ones next month. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. We'll be back with more as always. And we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.